I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
What do you want to say?
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude.
There's no need. I didn't think that's what you wanted to talk about. Was there nothing else you wanted to say?
That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings.
Fair.
I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them. Especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me.
That I have noticed it's a big failing on his part, particularly in this last part that we've just had with Linny. His stubbornness about proving that he can do it by himself is becoming quite hazardous to his ability to complete what he's been tasked with.
By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina?
She's an utter waste of space, and I agree with the speculation that I presume you passed on to Linny and Lynette that... Well, actually, it was just to Linny. She doesn't have a gnosis.
You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
Oh, please. I haven't disagreed with you at all thus far.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Furina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious.
She looks amazing in that getup with her mask on. She looks so cool right now. I love it. She needs to take her jacket off more often because her outfit's amazing. And yeah, I don't know the location of the Gnosis, just that it's not inside her.
Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait.
Poor kitty.
After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon.
Interesting that you can sense it though. How is that possible?
In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
How is that something you can sense? It doesn't quite make any sense.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning.
Is the Gnosis lost in the Primordial Sea?
I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Furina dares not mention this incident to anyone.
Of course she can't, because then she'll have to reveal why she couldn't defend herself.
Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Furina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Eudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article.
Isn't that the theory we had right back from the beginning when we first met Farina and were introduced to the character of Neuvillette? One of the theories we did flag was that he could have been the Archon.
I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
And that's why I kind of still feel like it's in the Primordial Sea, perhaps. It's been lost there. And maybe the only way she can get her power back is by allowing the flood to happen and everyone to die. That's the meaning of the curse.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Ridesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Eudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Eudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
She deserves it.
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Eudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either.
How did you come to that conclusion?
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon.
Not true. Neuvillette could easily pass for one, but Farina absolutely not.
Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth.
That is actually... That could be such a perplexing, confusing, soul-shattering realization for some people. I mean, I get that religion is not the same here as it would be in a traditional fantasy setting, where the worship of the gods is far more prominent, whereas here, worship of gods doesn't really seem to be a thing, so much as just that you follow them as your leader. Kind of... There are other points to it, but there's no, like, actual worship of it in the more traditional sense. But I still think it would be quite confronting to realize that you don't even know the god of your own land. Like, that's sad.
Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing?
I think it's a weird place,
a
man.
catastrophe looms, yet
place
many
is
secrets
weird.
have yet to rise to the surface.
They're taking their time.
It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves.
Seek out Risley.
Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you.
Thank you.
You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday.
Neuvillette.
He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Farina.
Maybe ask what happened down there.
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate.
As for what happened on our side, you recount the happenings of the tea party to Neuvillette.
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
Can I ask you some questions?
Permission granted.
You have enough power to force back the primordial sea. Does this mean you have some deeper connection to the Hydro Archon?
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
I don't imagine that you do. You are two very different people. What did you sense in the Fortress of Meripede? Do you manage to protect those that needed to be defended?
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering.
Ooh, question. Does he know the history of the fortress? Has anyone stopped to ask Neuvillette if he knows about the history of the fortress?
And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
I'm sure the entirety of Fontaine would if they knew it was upon us. Oh, man, don't be sad. Come on, Neuvillette, don't be like that.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Because our best guy's really sad. The clear sky suddenly filled with dark clouds. The rain became heavier, light rain soon growing to a downpour. And just moments before, Neuvillette has just mentioned his sense of grief. Thinking back to that legend and what Fremene said, it said a dragon of water once resided on Fontaine. Every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. Wait, Neuvillette, you can't be...
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking?
He's the dragon sovereign of water.
The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Farina?
Did she not know that? I'm sorry, back the fuck up. She doesn't know what he is? She has to have. This dude has longevity just like she does.
Neuvillette? Neuvillette, are you listening?
My apologies.
Or is this some secret that was never supposed to be told to any... Well, he didn't tell us, we guessed.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
You guessed correctly.
Jesus, he just says it
I
up front.
sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Where's Farina's gnosis? Please ask the important questions.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
I think it's a little beyond his abilities.
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
I'm sorry, I listened, but I didn't listen. The first usurper arrived into Tivat. They seized part of the dragon's power today. That's not... Okay, yep, cool. Wait, so the Gnosis are formed from the dragon's power? Is it Tsaritsa a dragon? Is it Tsaritsa a dragon sovereign of ice or whatever? and that she's wanting to take back the power that was taken from the dragons. That could be a really interesting turn of events.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me.
Sorry, I was still on the possibility of the head of Snezhnaya's Fatui being a dragon. In case I believe I'll not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears. Sorry. And returns their elemental authority. Ah! So, you need the Gnosis back. We need to find the Gnosis, screw over Farina because she sucks, and give it to you. Is that why Farina doesn't feel great about him being the dragon? Oh god, this is a complex relationship they have here.
Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
Well, no, he just said he could. It's just you got to find the Gnosis first. And pray it from Farina's cold dead hands.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
I have so many questions. Can you tell me anything about Conria?
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler,
What?
why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede?
You want us to go back?
Paimon is a little worried.
Okay, see you later, Neverlet.
We'll see you another time.
Love
Take
you.
care.
Out of the Aeons. A moment's respite. Return to the prison to learn more about everyone's situation. Well, time is starting to get away from me, and I have to go visit my parents. Well, my father. My mother's not available this day. But I want to just finish this. I want to get it out of the way. Okay, only one is on this level, and of course on the other fudging side of the level. I hate whoever designed this. Couldn't you put the teleport waypoint right next to it? Oh, that's the infirmary, isn't it? Because that's the dormitory. Dormitory! Which means this is the infirmary, so I suppose the siblings must still be here. Yo. Seem to be back at your post there, sir. Yep, they're all here. All present and accounted for.
Now guess, what suit will this next card be?
A bare teeth cat?
That's a suit.
Well, well, look who it is.
Did you enjoy the commotion?
Traveler, Paimon.
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering nicely from an A.
Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right. I managed to work up the courage to thank Miss Clorand in person.
Good for you.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all. She also told me not to worry about it.
She deals with mortality on almost a daily basis. It's okay. Don't take it to
She
heart.
didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the opera house and we met the knave.
You met Father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
It was a little surprising.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close, which now might also include you.
Father is very capable, and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Linny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
Got it.
That does sound like something that Father would say.
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like it, yeah.
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of okay.
Does everybody forget we're in a prison? I know we just had that whole conversation with Risley. It's not really a prison, it's a place of access. It's a fucking prison. Why are we having a tea party in prison?
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up there. How lovely. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snacks with us.
That should please Paimon considerably. And I like sugar too, so I'm not gonna complain. Alrighty, who's next? I assume we have to go to Radsley's office at some point. We've got to go see the C guy and the L guy who warned us about the evacuation. Yeah, these guys. You guys okay? You evacuated safely?
You guys are back?
Crystal! Macaroon!
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
No, not at all.
And here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held you up as legendary jailbreakers, but now you're telling me you just never left?
Well, I can't really tell them that I did leave, so yeah.
We're sorry, but we just had some business to take care of.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details. We're just relieved to see you. He was super worried about you, you know.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Weren't you super worried as well?
Something like that, yeah. I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Are those two all right? Do you think they made it out alive? Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks in hand, enjoying the lovely scenery.
You weren't entirely wrong.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals. Is there? I mean, considering how they always love listening to all my gossip.
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
I'm sure the welfare meals must have just skyrocketed in quality recently.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching you to make sure you finish every last bite.
Cool! Way to give me an eating disorder. Oh, it's right there, but I'll come back. Ah! Sijun!
Traveler, Paimon, you're back! Are you still doing all right? Did either of you get hurt?
Don't worry, we're both doing great.
We're fine, but what about you guys? It was such a huge mess. How bad was it?
A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulet paid us a visit. It was all thanks to him that we managed to suppress the crisis.
Did you get to see him? He probably didn't have time for that.
Oh, of course. We must also thank you for the help you provided.
How did Nervulet know that he was needed here?
Well, Monsieur Nervulet has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. I'm so relieved to see that you're both all right. If you're not too pressed for time, please stay with us a few more days.
Hello, prison sentence? I'm only supposed to be here for 45 days.
Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. Oh, and please feel free to visit the infirmary for a break at any time. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know. They're so memorable, and I've missed them immensely while you were gone.
If she were not a Melusine and a human, someone would mistake her as having some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but someone who's like very attuned to I love her dedication. It's adorable. It's freaking adorable. Okay, let's go see ride, sleep. That was not the best way I could have gone. Done now. I like how this has worked out for us, but I don't know how I feel about this fortress as a place for like murderers and rapists. It kind of feels very lax in that sense. I guess we're not supposed to think about the horrible things people could do to end themselves up here. Grammar was terrible, but you know what I mean. Wait, where's Risley?
Jurier, Miss Sijween told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
That's no excuse for...
Hi.
What's you two?
Junior, Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently. How have you been?
We're fine, thank you. It's only been a few hours,
you,
but we're back.
Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So don't say a word to anyone.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route over the one from the Duke's office.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
Where's Risley? Oh, he's back upstairs? Is he upstairs having tea?
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange winds blowing of late.
Right.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still all right?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Because he has his job?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Eudex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere.
I don't think that's going to work.
He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea.
How rude.
He did remember to take Miss Sijween's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds super busy.
So Sijwin should be very pleased right now.
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sijween.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Clorand received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijween worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Oh god, what is it going to be?
Are these from Sijween too?
Nope, they're from yours truly.
Hey!
You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real?
What a strange,
Then we could stay here for a really
strange
long
proposition. Is food still covered?
You may access the cafeteria for free. Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
That is the weirdest end. Return to the... I really, really, really need to get off. Let's just hurry up and get to the dormitory, and hopefully just going to sleep is going to be the end of it. I will have to give my reflections on the quest later. God, this thing sucks.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel the same.
It feels like a huge weight is off our shoulders.
Sure feels that way. But the truth is, we never did anything bad to begin with, so I'm not sure why we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Paimon, is there something you'd like to say?
Huh? How did you know?
Because you usually just immediately fall asleep.
Hey, that's not true!
It totally is.
All right. Okay, Paimon just wanted to say that we really are an amazing duo after all. It's like we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. We've never stopped traveling or stopped meeting new friends.
You're only coming to this realization now after, what, 3 years of being together?
There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where we go. Isn't that pretty cool?
We're the best adventurers ever.
You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here?
That's a good point. Why are we counting Paimon? Being a guide counts too? It really doesn't.
Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well.
Oh no.
Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward. Just our thoughts making Paimon giddy. Paimon's gonna crash, so you sleep soon too.
So does that mean that I can let you help me fight when we're in combat? No, I don't think that's what it means. Are we gonna have vision?
The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside ourselves. The primordial seawater nearly rose up. That was so scary.
I think we're gonna have a final vision of Tartaglia.
We should be safe now, right?
We fine, so don't worry, Paimon.
All right then. Good night to you, traveler.
Good night. Yeah. I'm not even on the pillow. Yeah, here we go. Where's Tartaglia? He's in the middle of it all? Oh god. Next thing you know, he has the Moses in him. That'd be hilarious. Well, he's exactly where he was trying to get. Good for him. Can't say much else because I don't really know what he's going to do there. But good for him. I'm going to check out all of that later. There's no extra quests spontaneously popping up. No, okay, that is the end of the Archon quest.